That was my tale, gonna roll Johnny McGee. He was a high school teacher from New Orleans, and he had my back through the day we lived. Looks like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other. Should have seen it in color. Pictures worth 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. Should have seen it in color. This one is my favorite one. This is me and Grandma in the summer sun, all dressed up the day we said our vows. Can't tell it here, but it was hot that June, and that rose was red and her eyes were blue. And look at that smile, I was so proud. That's the story of my life, right there in black and white. Looks like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other. Should have seen it in color. Pictures worth 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. Should have seen it in color. You should have seen it in color.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Haven't seen y'all in a little bit. Welcome to Glick's House of Music. As you know, it is a part of the Nonsensical Network. And if you're not already, go ahead and give us a follow. We are everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Shows live Monday through Sunday on YouTube. And you can listen anytime, any place, wherever you listen to podcasts at, all at the Nonsensical Network. Or you can simply go to bio.link/nonsensical network. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we got merch, and you can find it there on that bio link. Check that out. What up, Chaka? What up, Wally? Appreciate y'all being here. But enough of me. We're not here for me. That talented young lady you heard there at the beginning of the show, Miss Rylie Bourne, she is hanging out backstage, and I'm not going to make her wait any longer. There she is. What's going on, Miss Rylie?
Hey, not much. How's it going with you?
As I said before we started, I'm still trying to get my bearings right. So, nothing like a little road trip to get y'all razzled and frazzled.
Yeah.
So, I do want to say, first and foremost, thanks for making time and popping up here tonight and hanging out with me for a little bit. Definitely do appreciate that.
Of course.
And if you'd like to, and I'll ask you again towards the end, but if you want to let everybody know where they can find you at on social so they can drop a follow your way and listen to some of your music.
Yeah, you can find me at Rylie Bourne Music on should be everything. I believe I changed my TikTok to that as well. And I've got my website up and going again, so it's RylieBourne.com. And I've got music on Spotify under Rylie Bourne and also under my duo, which is called Lone Hollow. That's one word, LONEHOLLOW.
Nice. You're a little bit everywhere.
Yeah.
Got you a couple different projects going on, it sounds like.
Yes, I was in a duo for the last 6 years or so. That's what my main focus has been actually up until the last year. So.
Oh, nice. Nice. So are you just now deciding in the last year you're going to kind of do your own thing and venture off into the world?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, when I first moved down here, actually before I moved to Nashville, I did put out a record of my own of just songs I'd written in college. Basically because I was playing so many shows and I had no product to sell anyone. I'm like, it needs to, need to have my original music out somewhere. So did that, but then shortly after is when I went to this little music program in Nashville and met my duo partner. So shifted focus to that. And then, yes, once the beginning of the year happened, there was just a little bit of a shift. I turned 30 this year.
Oh my gosh, it's all downhill from there. It's game over.
No, not that. It's almost like it's more like you're sort of starting to figure out who you are. I don't know if we ever do, to be honest, but I went through some things at the beginning of the year and I just realized like there's some stuff that I want to be doing that I really wasn't putting the time into. And some of that is singing background vocals for other artists and songwriting more and staying in town and not be on the road so much. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Hey, I'm 43, and I still have no idea who I am or what I'm doing. I don't think we ever, like you said, I don't think we ever figure out this crazy thing called life. At the end of the day, over in the chat, Arla said you're just a baby in the chat.
Well, thanks.
I know. I noticed in your bio you say you're Midwestern as fuck, and I'm a Midwestern guy myself. I'm in Ohio. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Illinois, so
Okay.
right in the middle of the state, just south of Springfield. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, definitely. I just always say not Chicago to everyone.
Not Chicago. Hey, well, I usually have to tell people not Cleveland, not Cincinnati, not Columbus, but somewhere in between there. So, because I grew up in Podunk, Ohio, so
yeah.
No. What was it like for you moving to Nashville? I always ask people that are not necessarily from there or whatever, was that a culture shock for you, or was that just kind of like, something new?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a culture shock really. I was looking forward to it for a really long time. My parents have come down here for quite some time. My dad's a musician, has always been a fan of music, so he's the one that brought me here for the first time. And then I think once I was about 17 or so and I started to take music more seriously and start taking guitar and all of that, I was like, I'm moving to Nashville. I just made up my mind. So once I finally came here, I was homesick a little bit. I'm close with my family, but I'm only 5.5 hours away. So it actually wasn't that bad. It feels like home now.
Yeah. How long you been down there?
8 years.
Oh yeah. Basically, yeah. At the end of the day. Nice. That's not too bad. Is your dad the one that kind of got you into music? You said he was a musician as well? Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. He discovered bluegrass about my age, actually, and then my parents had me at 36. So right in the middle of that, he had joined a bluegrass band, and so I spent most of my childhood going to different bluegrass festivals and listening to the records he showed me. There was a specific CD case. Remember those, like the big
yep.
zipper thing?
Yeah.
Those, and of course had Vince Gill and Alison Krauss records and Rhonda Vincent, and those are just the voices I grew up listening to. And yeah, I owe it all to my dad to show me all of that stuff. So
But I love bluegrass music.
Me too.
Outside of bluegrass, was there any other artists that you kind of influenced you or that you looked up to, you wanted to kind of be like or sing like or anything like that, or just somebody that you really enjoyed growing up?
Totally. like I said, I was probably about 17 when that switch sort of flipped for me, and I was like, I want to be a singer or whatever it was, whatever you think when you're 17. But that's really when like Miranda started to get on the scene, and I'm like, everyone thinks she's like a badass, which she is. I think a lot of us in my age group were influenced by her, but to be honest, she in the group the Pistol Annies introduced me to Ashley Monroe. So then I started following her music and her solo stuff and her songwriting, and she became one of my idols for sure. I still look up to her now and get to see her play around town, and met her a few times. I love her. I think she's awesome. But, aside from that, I listen to a lot of different stuff, like still. So, yeah, I'm kind of.
I'm very. I guess you could say ADD when it comes to music. I'm all over the place. I listen to everything. There's genres, eras. It don't matter. I listen to everything. And you brought up those old CD cases. I used to have 5 or 6 big ones, and they were always in my truck. And they were organized by genre and an alphabet and everything like that. I hated when my friends got in my truck, but that's
yeah.
But way back in the day when I was a young lad. So obviously you're working on some new stuff. You do got the new song. That's what caught my eye. I was scrolling through Instagram, and as I tell everybody, I'm usually just scrolling Instagram, and thank God for my algorithm. I'm mindlessly scrolling it like everybody does on social media, and every once in a while an artist's voice will catch my ear, and then I have to do the scroll back number and hope the page don't refresh and everything else.
Yeah.
Are you working on a new album, or are you more focused on just putting out some EPs or singles or anything like that?
I'm not quite sure yet. I had been sitting on that song for 2 years, and I just finally decided it's time to put it out. I do want to get back in the studio for sure, because I've written more this year than I think I've ever have. But with that being said, I'm not really sure what the next path is, because I feel like these days people are just releasing singles every, whatever it is, 4 to 6 weeks or something, like just to keep it rolling. And I almost, I don't want to do that, but I also maybe am not ready for a full album yet. So I'm kind of just not sure. I'm just doing sort of whatever I want right now.
Just kind of going with the flow. It is what it is at this moment. Do you do a lot of performing down there in Nashville? I know I talked to some people. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm on stage every night." And then other people are like, I try not to be on stage too often."
Yeah, you know what? I've been pretty stubborn about never doing cover gigs down here. So if you're someone like me, that really limits like where you play and stuff like that. But I'd say I still do pretty often. I mean, our duo's got a showcase coming up at the Bluebird
Yes.
10th. So looking forward to that. I do a lot of writers rounds where I just randomly get asked to, go play for an hour down on Demumbrian or something. Yeah, I've pretty much just stayed off of the road this year. Only done a couple sites and stuff.
Nice. What's that like to travel and hit up different states and stuff like that?
It can
Exhausting.
it's exhausting. It can be amazing, but I think that there is something within me, and I'm not sure if it's because of the way I grew up and like the traveling I did as a kid, but I have like a wild hair sometimes where like I do want to just get in the car and like see a new place and get new places and go somewhere I've never been. And I really like connecting with new audiences and stuff, but it does get tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing the music gig full time now, or are you still got like a 9 to 5 regular job type BS where you're?
I don't have a 9 to 5. I'm really fortunate with that, but I'm actually a dog nanny on the side, so I watch people's dogs.
That
Yeah,
would be cool.
it's
I love dogs. I love dogs. That would be so cool.
too. Yeah, I've got 2 of my own, and then I watch I think 5 labs total.
Wow.
They're my main peeps.
Do you have jealous doggos? Or do your dogs get jealous when you come home smelling like other dogs?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're a little confused. Like, you know.
How okay, now my curiosity speaked.
Yeah.
How does one fall into being like I've heard of dog walkers and I still have a 9 to 5 job and one of the tenants in one of my buildings, they have a dog walker that comes a couple times a day when they're at work.
Hmm.
But how does one fall into a dog nanny and what exactly does a dog nanny do? Is it like a regular human nanny? Like you watch them and stuff like that?
Sort of. I mean, I know I just say nanny because it really is a regular gig for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of, like I said, have my own. We got our dog when we moved here to Nashville, but then I started to get into rescue. So I started volunteering for Emmylou Harris's rescue here.
Okay.
So I spent 2 years there, and then did some foster work through Proverbs, which is one of the biggest rescues in Tennessee, which is where we ended up adopting our dog. So long story short, I got a lot of volunteer shifts in dog walking. And then I took a short little 6-month stint for a dog walking service. And that didn't really work out just because of, the crazy schedule and people canceling. And
Yeah.
it just wasn't like a regular thing. So I literally just typed in, I think it was like Indeed or something. I just typed in dog. And I'm like, okay, I know that I'm like good at this one thing. So I typed that in. And then there was a listing of this woman that's like needing help, a couple days a week, blah, blah, blah. She's a surgeon. She's got a very crazy schedule. And at the time, she had 3 dogs. So I applied and I was like, I think I've got an SUV. I've got a ton of experience. And so I've been there for 2.5 years now.
Wow. That just sounds like such a cool gig. I
It
want
is.
to quit my job and become a dog nanny. I just want to hang out with dogs all day long.
Yeah, it's nice. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, that's cool. You just never know what you're going to find out about people on these shows.
I know.
um yeah, typically, yeah, I just kind of go with the flow of the show, so whatever happens. I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Like I said, I'm still trying to get my bearings. Still trying to get my bearings all together here.
Thank you for asking that, honestly, because I feel like I don't talk about like other things sometimes,
Yeah.
other parts of my life.
I try really hard not to do the boring interview because some people have been interviewed a lot and you get asked the same dumb questions, which I still ask some of those similar same dumb questions, but also it turns into we might wind out down a side road about being a dog nanny.
Yeah.
Which I love dogs. If I had more time in my schedule, I would probably volunteer at a shelter or something like that. Unfortunately, my schedule is 100% booked all the time. And shelter dogs make the best dogs in the world. When you adopt a dog, it's better than we've bought from breeders before, and most of my dogs have been rescues, and they've been the sweetest, kindest, most loyal dogs I've ever had in my life. We got one now. Oh, where she's at? She's probably laying around being fat and lazy. She's old, and she's mad because we left her this weekend at home with my oldest daughter, and she's mad. She didn't even come and greet me at the door when we came in. So, usually she's the first one to greet me, but I haven't seen her since I've been home, so I don't know what's going on with her right now. What's it like for you down there performing in Nashville? Have you got to perform in any of the big hot spots or anything like that that everybody wants to be on?
I'd say I'm slowly crossing them off the list. Like, like I said, the Bluebird, and then I played the Listening Room a couple times. Some spots where people are really paying attention, and paying to
Yeah.
see songwriters. Because, to be honest, I never was the type, I don't think I have the voice for a Broadway singer. I mean, I know a lot of people that do really well playing on Broadway and they do it every day. But I just know myself and I know my voice and just my attitude and everything. And I just kind of, but yeah, there's more that I want to cross off the list. Of course, the Grand Ole Opry is one. I got to go there last December backstage for the first time, and I was like, yeah, the dream is still alive for sure.
I was just going to ask, do you have any bucket list locations that you want to play down there that you haven't got the opportunity to play at yet?
Definitely the Opry for sure.
I think everybody wants. I want to see the Opry. I've never been down there. Nashville's on my list, and I think we'll be down there in about a year or so. I can't wait.
Yes.
Never been down there, and I just want to come for a couple days, 2 or 3 days. I don't want to go crazy. I want to eat some food, hear some music, have a couple beers, and then get the hell out of Dodge before I spend too much money.
Yeah.
No. Speaking of food, and I don't know why I asked this question. Maybe it's because I like food and I enjoy food a lot. For you, this is kind of a two-parter. So for you, how do you feel about the food down there? And do you have any favorite spots?
Oh, that is a good question. I'm really happy with the food here. And of course, I came from a town of 1,200 people. So, like, we would have to drive into Springfield and eat there, which, there's some places, but just like most sort of small towns, you only get a certain whatever, Olive Garden or Chili's or whatever, Midwestern stuff.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, I will still go to Olive Garden. But yeah, there's just so many options here. It's kind of insane. And both my fiance and I are both foodies, I think, as well. So we love trying to find new spots and trying a new cocktail or a new restaurant that opens. But I've been pretty happy with Nashville. I think the one thing that I wouldn't say we have is a fantastic Italian spot. Like, maybe someone would argue with me on that, and I'm just aware. But some of my favorite places that we frequent, we go to 51 North Tap Room, which is in the Nations. It's just like our local, we call it headquarters.
All right, there you go.
Decide where to go. We're just we'll go to HQ. Literally go every week. But Butcher Town Hall in Germantown is amazing. I go to Burger Up quite a bit on 12 South. I'm sure there's more I can't think of. There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot. That's kind of been the consensus. I think I've had 1 or 2 people go, "Yeah, food's mediocre down here." I'm like, really? One guy was from New York, so yeah, you know how New Yorkers are.
Yeah,
they're a little snobby. Or
on what you like, and yeah,
there's not much I don't like. So, I like to try new things. I like to try new things. So
yeah,
I used to live in Charleston, South Carolina. And before I moved there, I wasn't a seafood guy.
Mm-hmm.
The seafood's a little bit different when you live on the coast and it's coming in out of the water every day fresh. And the menu changes according to what they catch that morning. So I was like, no, I'm a seafood guy, but then I come back home and, my fiance would be like, go to get seafood. We don't have seafood. We live in Ohio. It's not the same. Now I'm a snob. It's like, yeah, can we just get steak or something? Burgers. Let's do what we're good at in the Midwest.
Right.
No, I'm always curious because I know when I get down there, it's gonna be the number one thing I want to do is check out the good spots and eat and get some food. And I was told that I had to go to what is it, Rob's Western World? I
Oh,
got it written down somewhere. And get the
Roberts.
recession. Yeah, Roberts, and get the recession meal.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good one. Roberts is a must see. It's like probably the only reason why I would go downtown. I live probably 20 minutes from downtown and I just don't go to Broadway anymore. I feel like a lot of locals probably say that. It's fun
Yeah.
maybe once a year, or like if my friend is, playing somewhere, I might like pop in or something. But yeah, definitely go to Roberts and take in the atmosphere. It's awesome.
Yeah. So now that you're the first person that's ever said that about not trying to avoid downtown or whatever, and again, not being down there and then kind of on the outside looking in and a curiosity factor, does that hinder you at all as a musician or is it better to stay off of Broadway as a musician so you don't get pigeonholed into, a category, a certain artist category?
That's what it is for me. Again, no judgment to the people that have chosen that path. But for me, like, I'm a songwriter that plays like listening rooms and listening room music. I don't really spend my time like covering other artists and doing that. So for me, it's really not beneficial to play down there. And then I'm also like sort of introverted. And after you've lived here for a while, it just kind of loses its luster. I mean, it's become so popular that it's like, I mean, not to compare it to New York City or whatever, but like, the first time that I was in Times Square, I was like, whoa, I feel like way overstimulated right now.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how I get. Like if someone says, hey, let's go down to Broadway at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, I'm just like, nope, you will not find me there. And again, depending on what the reason might be, but like I just I tend to stay in my safe spot, little like chill songwriting spots where I can pop in and see my friends and stuff.
Yeah, keep it low key. So he said you're kind of introverted. How does that play when you're on stage? What's your stage presence like? Are you more of a sit down, play my guitar, sing my songs, or are you more? Do you have a second personality that comes out when you're on stage?
It's probably kind of both. Like I feel like once you know me, maybe I'm not that introverted. But I definitely do like to have my guitar, and I like to have that like safety blanket and like the stories that I tell or whatever. Like it's really not my thing to sort of just grab a wireless mic and just like run around and like I've really never done that. And like I was saying with like Alison Krauss or like Emmylou Harris, like these women that I've looked up to, they're just like standing there with the Gibson guitar and singing your songs. And so that's kind of my vibe,
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Allison and Emmylou, they let their voice speak for them. I mean, it's kind of a dumb thing to say, but instead of having all the theatrics and everything like that, I love Alison Krauss.
I agree.
She's one of my most favorite female artists, and ever since I was a little kid, I've been I love her voice, and I will listen to it for hours, just for no reason other than the fact that I just enjoy hearing her voice.
Yeah.
So no, that's awesome. I've heard that so many times that the guitar is kind of like a security blanket. It's like this is my safe space right here, and I'm going to keep it right here. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not as long as you're not at a bar where it's loud and crazy, and you're in that more of an intimate setting.
Right. I don't think I'm like that kind of performer at all. I have had to learn a little bit to be without the guitar because I've done quite a few shows where I'm just singing background vocals. So you also can't really just stand there and look like super awkward.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a healthy mix, I think. Like I'm never like doing too much, but also you want to look like you're enjoying yourself a little, right?
You don't want to sit up there looking like, yeah, you don't want to sit up there looking like you're bored as hell and miserable, and
Yeah,
you'd rather be anywhere else but there right now.
right.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's some people have that presence about them. You have like your Axl Roses and Fred Durst and stuff like that of the world, and then you got your people that Sarah Brightman's one. She just goes up and just stands there and just sings, and that's all
Mhm.
she has to do at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It took me a while to realize this because I think when you get to town, you realize how oversaturated it is, and we're all sharing this dream, which is a good thing, but it's also very daunting, and so you end
Mhm.
up comparing yourself to all kinds of people. But the truth is that there is a path for everyone. There's room
Yeah,
for everyone. Um, so I've been really focused on like, okay, what is my thing, my very specific thing that I'm good at, and just trying to follow that.
yeah. Have you? Was it hard to kind of find your niche or your thing when you got down there, or anything like that?
Sort of, it's weird because I think you just go through phases. Like I moved here at 22, so I think I had this delusional confidence, as we all do at 22, where you're like, I know who I am. Like, nobody's gonna tell me any different. And I'm like, then once you hit like 26 or 27, you're like, oh my God, who am I? Um, what am I trying to say? What am I doing? And so I feel like I'm finally coming out on the other side of like that phase where I'm like, okay, I kind of do know who I am now and what my story is. So yeah, I've been through it. I mean, it's been a journey for sure.
Growing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we all go through those phases, especially when you know in the entertainment world, no matter whether it's music or acting or comedy or podcasting or whatever. You always come in like guns a blazing. I'm the greatest thing that's ever been on the scene, and then you start to go, I need to pump the brakes a little bit and really kind of find
Mhm.
out who I want to be as an entertainer. And you go through that it's a little bit of a learning curve. We got to learn to sometimes humble ourselves and go, okay, let's sit back and learn from what I've been doing and grow and evolve. So
Yes.
that's always seems to be one of the key factors. And I do this because I can't play an instrument to save my life and couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. I mean, I think I'm the greatest singer in the world when I'm in the shower or in my car. I put on some great concerts when nobody's around. But it's like, stick to your strengths, dummy. You can talk. So but uh outside of she said you got the Bluebird coming up. Um
Mhm.
you got anything else on the horizons that you're excited to start doing or ready to start doing? I know you said you'd like to get back in the studio.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. It feels kind of freeing to not have like anything on my schedule yet for next year. It's kind of feels like, oh my gosh, I could do like whatever. And that was kind of hard because obviously I'd put so much focus on the duo, and so we had played more shows in 2023 than I think ever. Like it got to the point where we could hardly outdo that. Like we took our first trip to Europe and spent 12 days there, or I'm sorry, England, specifically England. Um,
Oh
and
wow.
spent 12 days there just playing 6 shows, and then like came back and immediately had like maybe 4 days back in Nashville, and then went back on the road again to like North Carolina or something. And it was
Yeah.
awesome. But I think my mind really needed this break. So to be honest, in terms of like shows and, concerts and stuff. I don't really have anything that crazy for next year yet. Maybe something will come up, but I am getting married in July, so I'm putting like all my focus
Ah,
on that. So
nice.
yeah,
Congrats on the wedding. That's awesome.
thanks.
It's always fun to plan a wedding. I mean, we're sharing a boat there. My fiance and I are planning a wedding next year as well. So
Oh, okay.
actually,
What day?
October 25th
Oh,
of
nice.
next
Okay.
year.
So just
Yeah.
over
So
a year
yeah,
away.
just shy of a year now. So congratulations on that. That's always fun and exciting.
Thanks, you too.
You know.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think I've needed the time to just kind of be home and to plan, but to also write new music. I mean, it wasn't only the wear and tear on like your, mind and body of like being on the road. And I will say my duo partner's great at it. And I got to the point where like I became kind of numb, like
Mhm.
you get in the car and you drive 7 hours and you get out, sound check, play the show, and then turn around and go back. Like it is what it is. There's kind of no way around that, when you're
Mhm.
dues. But it definitely comes to him a little more naturally than it does to me. And so I'm trying to just be honest with myself. I'm like, I lost a little bit of the want to do that, or the motivation to
Yeah.
get in and play the same songs that we've been playing for the last few years. So I really just have to, you know, stay here and
So,
focus.
yeah, sometimes yeah, you find yourself in autopilot, and sometimes you just need to take that break to reset and recharge the batteries. Maybe come back and with refocused and re-energized. You know,
Yes.
and take it. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that.
Oh,
Congrats to both of you.
that's nice. Thank you.
Uh, nah, so you mentioned you were over in England. What was that like to go to another country and play your music? I mean, like,
Oh, it was awesome. That's one of my like favorite memories. It feels like surreal a little bit because I wasn't aware that they had such a fan base for country and Americana, um, which they do, and it was amazing. We played this festival 3 days in a row, where we played 3 shows out there, just in the middle of nowhere, and all these people show up and they want to kind of talk to you about like your upbringing and living in the country. And like, so Damon's from, who's my duo partner, is from North Carolina, and so a lot of that music came from like Appalachia, and that's
mhm.
where it originated. And so yeah, it was kind of crazy. I'm like, oh wow, you guys have like such an appreciation for what we do. And I could feel it, like it was palpable, because playing a show in Nashville, you're like, oh, this is just another singer-songwriter. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
million of us, but it really felt like people cared. Um,
yeah.
oh, I would love to go back. Yeah, it was.
It's wild to hear. Over there, like I'm a diehard football fan. I love football, and how much they love the NFL over there, in the UK and London and stuff. I mean, and then to hear that, like the first time me hearing it, I'm thinking, wonder what the reception was like for you guys over there coming over and doing what you're doing, because they got their own style of music and stuff like that. But
Uh-huh.
to hear that they were there for it, that's really cool.
Well,
That
it
would be
is.
such
I
an
guess
experience.
you can't really like see it from their perspective, because to me, I'm like, oh, this is just who I am. I'm just like some country Midwestern kid that grew up singing
Yeah.
bluegrass music. But um, I think on the Saturday night they were like, hey, would you want to be part of our Loretta Lynn tribute? And I'm like, yeah, like of course.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
grew up singing Loretta Lynn, so yeah, it was really neat.
That's cool. That is awesome. Um, I told you I wouldn't keep you too long tonight. I do want to. I would like to ask everybody this. I would love to continue playing your music here on the network. We have shows 7 days a week. and we take breaks and play music during the break. And if it's all right with you, music you have out now or anything you got upcoming, all you got to do is just give me a shout on the socials and say, "Hey, I got a new song coming out." And I'll get it downloaded as long as it's okay with you. Would love to play the music here on the network and keep introducing you to new fans and new ears, so to say, if that's okay.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Second part of that is again, if I ever find the time, I am currently working on it, but it's a very slow process, and I just learned I could do this. Old man in technology. I am working on a Spotify playlist, and I'm only adding artists that have been on my show to that playlist. Once it's complete, I'll throw it out on the social media and stuff like that. I would love to add you to it if that's all right.
Sure.
All right, there we go. Easy peasy. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to anybody listening, like a quote that resonates with you, or like a piece of advice, or anything like that?
Man, see, this is the thing. I have like imposter syndrome. I feel like I still don't know like enough to give advice. You know what I mean? I mean, I see it in myself sometimes when I'm like put in a writer's room with like a 20-year-old girl and now I'm 30 and I'm like, okay, I may be able to offer some insight in certain things, whether that's boys or like, who knows? I don't know. I don't know that I have any specific advice for people.
Put you right on the spot.
No, you're fine. I think that just don't give up. If it's something that is still sticking with you and that you've always wanted, like, do not give up on it, because I know that there's some choices that I've made in my career that I maybe could have done differently, but I truly am believing that it's going to happen. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen at the right time. And if that's a slow burn for me, then so be it. I think that, like I was talking about the Opry, if something would have happened when I was 22, that would have been great. Yay, I got to play this show or whatever, but would I have been ready at that point? I'm not so sure. So yeah, that would be my advice, is just like, things are going to happen, meant to. So
just go with the flow and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, because I think you realize that you're so focused sometimes you're not enjoying the pieces it takes and steps it takes to get to that spot. Enjoy those little moments too. And I feel that way about the duo right now. Like, I don't want that to come to an end forever. But I feel very grateful for everything I've learned in the past few years. I just have to believe that trusting my gut and doing something different right now was like the right move.
Yeah, that's about all you can do, is just trust the journey you're on. Do what's best for you. Don't go, oh, well, if I don't do this, well, it might not be right for you to do that certain trip or whatever. You gotta do what's right for you at the end of the day. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. Well, I do want to say, and I'll let you drop down and then I'll do all my BS, and I'm actually going to play your song before I get out of here. Simpleton. Hopefully I've said that right.
That's right.
I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to come hang out with me. Don't be a stranger. If there's anything that we can do here, I tell everybody this. We can help promote anything. You got new music coming out, I have no problem whatsoever throwing it up and sharing it out. Anything we can do. And if you just feel like stopping by randomly sometime, if you see we're live on the socials, just drop a comment in the chat and say, hey, send me that link.
Yeah.
We'll let you come up. We do a lot of different things here on the network. Every night something different. So, don't be a stranger. Like I said, anything we can do for you, just let me know, and we'll get you all taken care of. So I greatly thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Coming on here and hanging out with me for a little bit. So, hey, good luck with the dog nannying. I'm going to be getting on Indeed when I get out of here, and I'm going to be like, how do I become a dog nanny?
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah. So I'll let you go. You can go enjoy the rest of your evening. Tell your fiance I'm sorry I stole you for a little bit.
Oh, no, you're fine. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
anytime. You're welcome at any time.
And bye, everyone in the comments. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Have a good night.
You too.
There we go. That was right there on the screen. Rylie Bourne music. That's Miss Rylie right there. She was a pleasure to hang out with. She definitely check out her music, guys. She's got some older stuff. She's got some newer stuff. She's got the duo stuff. And if you're in the Nashville area, see if she's going to be playing somewhere, and definitely check her out. Quick shout out, sorry guys. I'm a little scatterbrained tonight. We took a little road trip. Nikki's son was home from the military, and it was kind of a impromptu road trip. So if you've seen Sunday's show, you've seen me at the airport, you see me on the road. I wasn't here last night, and but I'm back for now. I will be taking a break here in a couple weeks. I'll dive more into that. In the coming days, I will be taking a break from the network for about a week, but we'll dive into that probably later on this week and into Monday. That might be a topic of conversation Monday on Men Caring for Men. But thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate y'all being in the chat. Check out Rylie Bourne music everywhere. Don't forget to check us out. The Nonsensical Network, we're everywhere as well. bio.link/nonsensical network. All of our links are there. With that being said, don't forget our rundown. Mondays, we added a new show. Shout out to my friend Wally. I can't wait to listen. I haven't had a chance to listen yet, bro. I'm going to listen tomorrow. We added a new show on Mondays. 6 p.m. on Mondays is Speedway Stories and Cold-Blooded Conversations. It is all about motorsports and reptiles. So, and that's hosted by Chris, aka Wally. And then right after him on Sundays at 7 is Men Caring for Men. It's your men's mental health podcast. It looked like the guys had a good show last night. I seen our boy Chaka was up there. I think Rock Lee came up. Really, Bo? Really? You come up when I'm not around? I see how you are, Rocky. And I don't know who else was on the panel last night. I have yet to watch that either. I need to watch that. But Tuesdays is this show right here, Glick's House of Music. I am hanging out with up-and-coming artists, giving them a little spotlight, getting to know them a little better. It's not your typical interview. We put our own little nonsensical spin on it. We like to hang out and get to know them and hear more about. I guess it's just kind of hanging out. Next Tuesday, I have Callie and the Boots and Rally coming up, and you might see me up here twice next week. I'm not going to announce that person yet until I confirm it, but I might be coming up Tuesday and Thursday. Wednesdays is What the Fuck News. 7 p.m. If it's in the news and it makes us say what the fuck, we're going to talk about it and add our little spin. It's usually all comedy based. It's Jeff and I, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. Thursdays, every other Thursday, is Cash's Corner. That's my son Cash and myself, and we're talking all things WWE Wrestling. WWE Wrestling. Fridays is Nonsense and Chill, Blaze and Jeff watching movies and doing our thing, and there might be the occasional spontaneous shot of nonsense from time to time on Fridays before them. It's another new show that we just started. It's not going to be a full-time show. It's just going to kind of happen when it happens. Saturdays is the main event. Nonsensical nonsense. Unhinged, unapologetics. We let the words are hard. We let the lunatics take over the asylum. We drop the chat and the link. We call it the Open Door Challenge, and anybody and everybody is welcome to come hang out with us. And then Sundays is Unnecessary Roughness, your kickoff to the NFL. We're making our picks, our predictions, and just talking a little bit of shit about football. We mix in a little college as well. And then Sundays, every once in a great while. I don't know what's going on with Jeff and his show, but we do have Jeff's Garage Sunday evenings. Basically, if it fits in the garage, they're going to talk about it at the end of the day. So we got something going on every day of the week, and everything's different. Nothing is no 2 days are alike at the end of the day. But with that being said, thanks for being here tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Tune in 7 p.m. for What the Fuck News with Jeff and I. We're bringing you this week's news that makes you say, what the fuck is going on in the world? So as I said, here's a little Rylie Bourne with her latest song, Simpleton.
Simpleton in a simple town, all you do is hang around and puff on a cigarette, hanging on to your regrets. From the outside looking in, it don't seem like any more than that till you leave. And that's what I did, but too much time will make you blind till you find your way back to that simple town where you're supposed to settle down, where family trees are planted and their branches touch the ground. It's where my garden grows, and I feel like I know myself more than just a dream, where the grass is always green in that simple town. Simpleton in a simple town, I've been starting to come around. You can blame it on my age. I need a place that doesn't change like that simple town where you're supposed to settle down, where family trees are planted and their branches touch the ground. It's where my garden grows, and I feel like I know myself more than just a dream, where the grass is always green in that simple town. My family tree is planted and its branches touch the ground. It's where my garden grows, and I feel like I know myself more than just a dream, where the grass is always green.
And there you have it, Miss Rylie Bourne with Simpleton. I like it. She's got a really good voice. I could definitely looking forward to hearing more music from her, I should say, and see where her journey takes her. I'm going to get ready and bounce out, but I will answer that question, Lazy Jedi. all my music that we play on here, for the most part, except for the guys who don't listen, Jeff, uh, are by my former guests, and I have their permission to play their music, so I am capable of fighting YouTube on it. Um, that's the simplest answer. Also, I found a loophole, which I'll have to share with you another time. Ask me that question again. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. I play. We mainly only play artists that I've interviewed. So not only does it allow us to share their music and hopefully introduce new ears and or eyes to um, these up and coming artists, it's also a way for us to help promote them as well. That's the whole concept behind this show right here, is to spotlight and promote up and coming artists. And I get a little bit of everybody on here: country, rock, rap. Um, you know, I love all kinds of music, so you never know who you might see up on here. I've been getting a lot of people out of Nashville lately, so definitely enjoying that. So right there on the bottom of the screen, it's been there all night. Rylie Bourne Music, check her out, give her a follow, give her a like, and be on the lookout for new stuff. And we'll be playing her here as well. And again, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you to Rylie for coming on here and hanging out with me. No, I don't think it is. But at the end of the day, I've got her permission on the show to play her music. So, but yeah, with that being said, I am going to get out of here because I am exhausted. I've been on the road was on the road for 4 hours, literally ran in the house, threw my computer down, plugged everything up, fired this bad boy up. I'm going to go eat dinner finally. You guys have a great night. Thank you guys for being here. And I will see all of you again tomorrow night when we do What the Monk News. Have a great night, guys. Be safe and